Today is Thursday, October the 8th, and I am your host, KC Phoenix, and this is my daily thought, which is a supplement to Keeping It Real with KC. KIRWKC.com is the main podcasting platform. You can listen to all of the podcasting episodes at KIRWKC.com or on any of the podcasting platforms that this show is carried on, which is carried on several: Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and all that other jazz. All right. What else? I guess I can tell you the other social media: Twitter, Instagram, KIRWKC, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you're watching this on YouTube or Dailymotion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. For YouTube, you have to hit the subscribe button followed by the notification bell. That will let you know when I upload new videos. But as I always say, it seems like I have more listeners than I do watchers, and I'm fine with that. And shout out to the binge watchers too, because it always cracks me up where I see these huge jumps, or binge listeners, where I see these huge jumps in my podcast, where someone goes through and binge listens to a ton of episodes in my podcast. So shout out to the binge listeners. And I have some coconut water left over for those who are in the know and who have been keeping up with the show. You know that my ex came by not too long ago and he had brought me some coconut water because I wasn't feeling well. So that's what I still have, coconut water left over that he had brought. And I was like, I need to drink some of this. So that is what I'm doing now. And you know what? I didn't even check the date on this. I'm checking. Okay, good till 2022. Just making sure. All right. Today has been where to start. I don't want to make this too long, and every time I say that, it ends up being like 15 hours. Today has been a little interesting. It has been I don't want to say difficult. I've just been up, down, where because I'm still recuperating and all of that other jazz and whatever, I started to get a little bit frustrated because when you're focusing on one thing, it's like you're trying to balance, you're trying to twirl a bunch of plates. Plates. You're trying to twirl a bunch of plates. All right. In the air. I don't know if you've seen people twirl plates or whatever. Like they do it for, I think, Cirque du Soleil, maybe, and some other stuff. But they twirl the plates around and you're trying to do it with all of these at once. And it can be a little bit exhausting at times, especially when one plate requires more attention than the other plate. And that's sort of what I was going through throughout the day, because I work on, as I mentioned before, I work on stuff behind the scenes, and then I work my regular job and trying to balance a whole bunch of things. And it's crazy because a lot of good things have happened over the past, outside of me recovering and recuperating. A lot of good, I'm not even going to say good, a lot of great things have happened over the past maybe 48 hours. And that's one reason why I was talking about yesterday that things can go, when it comes good or bad, things can go from 0 to 100 very quickly. And you, regardless of whether it's good or bad, you have to adjust. And if you're into it, ask the universe, ask God, ask whoever for help and guidance and discernment and all of that stuff to make sure that as the good things are happening, as things are moving at lightning speed due to the influx of blessings that have come in, you want to make sure that you maximize everything to its fullest potential. And because I had been focused on some of the health stuff or whatever, it kind of depressed me a little bit. And I hate to use the word depressed because everyone uses that word. But at the same time, I was like, okay, don't stay in this energy. Don't stay there. Don't stay in the energy. Keep moving forward because the universe doesn't stop for anybody. It's going to keep moving forward. You need to keep moving forward. Pull it together, pull it together. So I had a little praise session. I had to go old school, put on some gospel. As a matter of fact, I played 3 of the 4 songs I mentioned yesterday and some other songs too. So, and I played the songs for almost an hour. And I was just walking back and forth, listening and lip syncing and singing as well. And after I was doing that, it helped me feel a little bit better. And I'm coming into this with way, way higher energy, on a higher vibration than I was on maybe 2 hours ago. And that's a good thing. That's good for you. It's good for me. It's good for everybody. So yeah, but that's sort of what was going on today. And I'm already 6 minutes into this. Let me go ahead and cut to the chase on my daily thought, because I do have other things to handle and get done. And not that I don't love you guys, because you guys know I love you the most. Anybody who watches or anybody who listens and takes the time out of their day just to hear what little old me, crazy old me, silly old me has to say, it always means a lot to me. So just know that. As for my daily thought, just be you. That is my daily thought. That was on my mind. Another daily thought was on my mind too, but I had to write that one down. And I'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm not even going to go into it. But for this one, just be you. One thing that I had heard, and I probably mentioned this before, because I'm like 100 episodes in, give or take, with Keeping It Real with KC and with the My Daily Thought supplement. Is speaking of Keeping It Real with KC, I think I'm doing sports this weekend. I don't know how many episodes I'm doing. I don't want to say a minimum of 2 because I may end up doing just 1. It depends on what's happening, because as I said, a lot of things are moving at lightning speed. But just so you know, regardless, I will put up something for the Keeping It Real with KC show this weekend, and it will more than likely be sports. So I'll find a sports story like I did last time. But back to this. I probably mentioned before that I heard this saying, and it was from Les Brown. I'm wearing this V-neck, and it just isn't. It's doing the most right now for those who are watching. I heard something, and I'm pretty sure it was from Les Brown. And he was talking about being yourself instead of trying to be someone else. And the best point I heard out of that, in my opinion, is that you can't be someone else because the position is already taken. The only person you can be is you. You can't be, I'll give you an example. If you like to sing, you can't be Whitney Houston. That position was already taken. Whitney Houston is Whitney Houston. You might have some similar stylings to Whitney Houston, but you will never be Whitney Houston. That's one thing we can say never to. You will never be someone else, because everyone is an individual. I mentioned this before. Everyone is an individual, like snowflakes. Everyone has their own identity. And it's like that for a reason. Do people have similar characteristics and maybe some of the same demeanor or similar demeanor or a similar demeanor? I had to articulate that correctly. Where you may have a similar demeanor than as someone else. Yeah, that's possible. But being exactly like someone, no, you can't do it, because that position is already taken. And also, you shouldn't want to be exactly like someone because you are you. You are the one of a kind. You are the original. Think about that while I sip on this coconut water. And I'll say it again. You are the original. And the universe is telling me to say that one more time so it can marinate, because I don't know if some people are hearing it. You are the original. When I say that, I hope that it's marinating. I hope that being able to say I'm the original, huge ego, self-esteem, self-love. That's what I say. And that's all right. You are the original. When I'm sure you've heard about paintings when people try to recreate what Renaissance painters have done, whether it be Titian, Rembrandt, who else? Bruegel. Trying to think of some other Renaissance painters off the top of my head. I want to say Vermeer. I feel like I'm missing another famous Renaissance painter. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I'm thinking there's another famous Renaissance painter, but it's not coming to me right now. But, Da Vinci. When it comes, Michelangelo, when it comes to what they've created, they created the original, and people try to do it and do forgeries and things like that. But they created the original. It's the original. There's not another piece like it. What they painted, what Rembrandt painted, which one was The Last Supper, if I'm not mistaken. And the way you know with look, I'm sitting here giving a history class. For Rembrandt, one way to spot his work is if you usually see some type of light coming in the background, believe it or not. For Renaissance painters, that's usually how you can tell his work from other Renaissance painters. With Vermeer, usually there's some type of instrument or something in it. With Titian uses a lot of blues. But when it comes to what someone has painted, if Rembrandt painted something, then that's the original. People can take pictures, people can try to paint it and make it look like his painting, but his painting is the original. There is no way it can be replaced. No matter who else paints it like it's painted, no matter who else takes a picture, blows it up, does this, does that, does some 3D printing or whatever you want to call it. Rembrandt's original painting is his painting. It is the original. It's almost like with Beethoven. If Beethoven creates something, if whatever Beethoven composed, which I don't know his compositions off the top of my head, but whatever Beethoven composed, it's the original. People can take it and work with it and turn it around and do this, but it's the original. It's the original. It can't be recomposed. You can't make an original more original. You can't take an original and make another original. There's a reason it's called original. So you're the original. That alone is a reason why you should never look to be anyone else other than yourself. You are the original. There isn't anybody who can be you. It is impossible. And I rarely use that word. I rarely use the word impossible. I rarely use the word never. But in this case, never and impossible at this moment. It's impossible. Even if you were genetically cloned, you would still be the original. And I'm focusing, the universe keeps on telling me to focus on that word because that's a powerful word. It means that you are number one. You're the one that came first. You're the one that if anybody were to attempt to take on your characteristics, your demeanors, certain aspects, your attributes, your even your flaws, whatever they try to take on that is affiliated with you, they can only do but so much, but they will never become an original you because you are the original. Because you are the original, that sits at a status on its own. There isn't anything that compares to the original. If you do not believe me, go to an auction sometime or go online and see what happens when they say there's only one of these. This is the original. And see how much it goes for. Do you wonder why Picasso's paintings sell for so much? They are originals. There isn't, in my eyes, I've never been a fan of Picasso's work. I actually prefer Rembrandt's, believe it or not, and Bruegel. Bruegel could paint his tail. Bruegel can make, when I tell you, look up Bruegel, I forgot, I want to say it's Peter Bruegel, but I remember last name is Bruegel. He could paint stuff that looked like a photograph. I kid you not. I was looking at one of his paintings. It was with the fur, and it looked like someone took a photograph. And I'm like, how did this happen eons ago? Before cars and cameras and all this other stuff even existed. And he was able to paint things that it looked like actual pictures. That as in you taking a picture with a Polaroid or something. Or your camera phone. Polaroid came across my mind, but obviously in today's day, camera phone. But what I'm saying is that there's a reason originals go for so much money when they go up for auction. It's because the duplicates, the copies, the imitations, the updates, the reworked stuff, it's not as valuable. Why isn't it as valuable? Because it's not the original. So, thank you, universe. You just gave me something else. I like that. Thank you. All right. So, why would you, being the original, attempt to go and attempt to be someone else besides yourself, lowering your value when you're the original? Your value is already at its peak because you're the original. Yeah, you can do things and you can evolve with time and all of this other stuff. But when it comes to being someone else, that is taking away from your value. You can, I'll go back to Whitney Houston. Obviously, one thing about Whitney Houston, she was known for projection. She could project when she sings. If you want to learn how to project when you sing, and have a strong voice, totally cool. But if you want to sound exactly like Whitney Houston, no, you're the original. Whitney Houston is the original. You're lowering your value when you try to sound exactly like her. You need to sound exactly like you. You're lowering your value when you try to be someone else. When you need to be you. You can evolve because all humans have the ability to evolve. We're all given the ability to evolve. But when it comes to our core, we all are originals. And because we're all originals, we don't want to lower our value attempting to copy, imitate, duplicate, and assimilate into the persona of someone else. Just like one of my favorite TV series, it's not on anymore, but it's called The Originals. For those who like Vampire Diaries and they're into vampire movies and vampire shows and stuff, I like that. The Originals. They were called The Originals because they were the original vampires. Anything less, any other vampires were considered a lower form of vampire. But Niklaus, Elijah, Rebecca, Finn, and Freya wasn't a vampire, she was a witch. And Cole, all of them, and also Michael the father, they were all the originals. Anything under them was a lesser form of vampire. So that would be like them saying, oh, I want to downgrade. Because that's basically what you're doing. When you attempt to be someone other than yourself, just to please people or just to get attention or to do this or to do that, you're downgrading your value because you're becoming something outside of what you are. You being yourself, you're the original. Your value is already at its peak and will only grow with time. Like I said, we all evolve. Just like with auctions, with art, every single year, original paintings, original sculptures, original whatever, they all appreciate in value every single year. Look it up. Most art appreciates in value every single year. So where a Picasso was worth, a painting was worth, and I'm just throwing out a number, a painting was worth $2 million in 2018, it's worth $4 million in 2019, worth $6 million in 2020. It'll be worth $8 million in 2022 because it's an original. So, I'm telling you, just be you. You're an original. There's no need to try and be anybody else. There's no need to please anyone else. You will evolve. The universe will give you everything you need to evolve and be everything you need to be. But be happy with who you are. Because as I said before, there's no one else like you. You're an original. So just be you because of that. You can't be anyone else. The position's already taken. You can't be me. I'm an original. You can take on my demeanor, you can take on my attributes, my flaws, or whatever, but I'm still the original. And vice versa. I can take on your demeanor, your flaws, your attributes, your whatever. But you're still the original. And because you're the original, that speaks for itself. And that's all I have for my daily thought. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting the show. I really appreciate it more than you will ever know. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. KIRWKC on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you are watching this on YouTube or Dailymotion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And on YouTube, you also need to hit the notification bell in addition to the subscribe button. Again, thank you. I love all of you. Until next time, be blessed.